From ag-related automation to beautiful natural resources, we're committed to advancing you and putting the region on the map. GreenSeam is here to shape the future of agricultural, business, and communities where fertile land meets technology and people come together to feed the world. We are GreenSeam. All right, well, welcome back to the GreenSeam podcast, where today we have a good friend of ours, Mr. Brad, that's going to hang out with us for the afternoon here, and tell us a little bit about Crystal Valley and what you do there.
Crystal Valley is an ag cooperative based out of Mankato, Minnesota. I have an office there. I work for the feed department, and right now we're growing. We're in the process of building a new feed mill down in Trimont, Minnesota, and so we're all very excited about that as we move forward.
So what are you building in Trimont? A what?
A feed mill.
Okay, explain that to us.
So a feed mill, we take corn and soybean meal and all the other ingredients to make swine feed mainly, and we just bring it out to the farms, and we make the swine feed. That's for a lot of farms in the area.
But this new mill is pretty unique because it's going to be highly automated. There's a lot of technology involved, high accuracy of what that ingredient list is, right? Of how you can blend that and mix that to allow that animal to perform at the peak.
At the highest level of what they're capable of doing.
Yeah. Correct. It's going to be a top of the line feed mill. Everything is going to be new, and should be open by next fall, making feed out of there.
So to build a feed mill like that, is that a 5-year process or a 2-year process, kind of start to finish?
Well, they've been doing a study on it for years now, and they started building it in March this year, and so now should be going up the cement work in August, and by next fall they should have all the parts in, all the automation, everything to start making feed.
To this level, to this new feed mill, just to put some perspective in.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking back 10, 15 years since the last feed mill of this caliber was built new. I mean, a lot of feed mills have been remodeling and adding on portions, but as far as a brand new standalone, feed mill, this is a big deal for our region. It really is.
Very cool. What are some of the technologies that are being used that kind of will push the ball forwards, or something that's unique, special, or different that's going to be done on this facility?
I wouldn't say anything is unique that we don't see in other feed mills. It's just going to be larger capacities. Instead of like a 4-ton mixer, we will have a 9-ton mixer, which will be able to make feed that much faster in the same amount of time as you can make 4. Now we can make 9. And so that'll make a truckload in less than probably 15, 20 minutes, give or take. That probably shouldn't go with that. I don't know the exact speed of it.
But basically you're doubling the capacity of what's out there right now.
Correct. Yeah, we will. Yeah, it's going to be high capacity, and we're really excited to be able to do that. It's going to grow our capacity as a feed division it'll be more than with the 2 feed mills we will have going forward. It's going to be more than the current 4 that we have.
Very cool. And are you guys looking to do some hiring now, or are you guys got everyone that you need? Where are you at with that?
Well, it's good that the majority of employees, it's kind of central to 2 of the feed mills that we have, so most employees will be able to continue to work there.
Sure.
The majority of people who work in our feed mills are truck drivers, and so they'll still all have jobs. The mill operators should still have jobs. So you'll be able to pull from some of your existing people to plug them into this new facility and right. And so we'll have the right amount of people when we get going, but as we grow and expand, there will be room for more people in the future.
Cool. So how'd you get into this? How'd you pick, this feed industry and this division of the co-op? Or what gets you excited about that?
Well, the reason I got into it is my first job as a part-time job in college was at a feed mill here in Mankato. And
which one?
I worked at Big Gain in Mankato. Okay. And I just worked loading trucks, bagging feed. And then I took a year off from school, and Brad Schlesser, the dean of students at South Central, was picking up feed, and he suggested I go to school for agriculture. And so I went back to school for agriculture after some thought, and then I decided that I'd like to continue or to build on the experience because I didn't have any other ideas of what I wanted to do. So I decided I was going to try to get an internship with animals or in a feed mill on the operations side or anything that I could continue to build on my experience. And then I ran into Crystal Valley, got a internship with their feed department, and I decided to continue going with them.
So did you have a background in ag?
No. Short answer, no.
So did your family have a background in ag?
Well, I grew up out in the country. We had, a couple cows, a pig here and there.
We had a pig. He's got a background in ag.
Yeah, so
He's a farmer.
He's a farmer.
No.
Automation. Throw it at it. Let him build a plant.
No, it's I didn't really have a background in ag. I wasn't too involved with it, but I just got into it when I started working as a part-time job, and so I decided to just build on it because I didn't have any other,
seen it as an opportunity.
plans.
You seen it as an opportunity and said, "That sounds interesting," and you took some class, went for the 2-year program at South Central College.
Correct. Yep, the South Central Ag Business Service and Management program. I spent 2 years there, and there's a few related classes. There wasn't very many. The majority of my classes were soils, agronomy, similar to what you'd find in the agronomy field. But in the on the animal side, I had a swine class, just a general animal class. But the majority of it didn't really relate. So the most knowledge that I picked up was through my internship with Crystal Valley.
You had one
Was
year
it one internship or multiple?
I did one internship.
You did one internship.
between your freshman and sophomore year, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Sometimes when it comes to an internship, then you know.
When
then
you
it's
know,
like,
you know.
When you know, and then that's the road that you're going down.
Well, as I was finishing up with school, they had a quality assurance manager at the time, and he retired, and they were looking for someone to fill the spot, and I really enjoyed working with Crystal Valley, and so as I graduated, I talked to them and ended up getting the job to be a quality assurance coordinator going forward, and so I've been there ever since.
Very
So,
cool.
so what does that mean? What's quality insurance mean for?
It means that you're assuring quality.
Right, but what? I mean, most people think about it when they think about.
Yeah, what are you actually doing on a daily basis?
It comes in the grocery store, right, or something
Yeah.
like that. But you're thinking of feed. So what's quality insurance?
So on the feed side, quality assurance, there's not a lot that we. So we have to worry about all the ingredients getting in there. The automation does that for us. Right now, the only thing we process besides mixing ingredients is the corn. We grind that down. That has to be the right micron size for digestibility reasons, and so we monitor that. Other than that, it's a lot of regulatory. We have the FDA. We have the Minnesota Department of Ag. They come in and audit us, and I work with those regulations. We also have customers and meat packing plants that will come in and audit us for those same things, along with specific food safety programs like no antibiotics ever, and that's the main one that we have. We also do the Pork for the European Union program, which we work with all the time, so we're very used to doing those programs.
Very cool.
That's cool. I mean, almost international law. I mean, you're making sure
Everything is on
you
time,
hit
on
that.
purpose. Yeah.
going into the pig before the pig grows and ends up as bacon.
Going into us.
Yeah, I mean,
Right. Well, with a lot of farms medicate in the feed, and so there's got to be flushing and sequencing protocols. So if you make medicated feed for a farm that has a disease, then the next site, you got to make sure that the next farm that doesn't need any medication in it, they don't get it.
Yeah.
So we make sure that it's in the right place.
So it's all specific to what that client needs.
Correct.
And that's the part of the quality assurance part of it that you're working on.
Yep. And what I do is basically monitoring that everyone else is doing their jobs right.
Yeah.
And so, and with medications, everything, the pound we have to measure to the pound every day. We can't be missing any medication, because if it's missing, it's in feed most likely.
Yeah. So cool.
That is it's interesting. Cool. I mean, would you ever thought that, growing up on this hobby farm, right, to saying, I'm not sure what I'm going to do to my
medicating
job,
to medicating an individual farm site for a set of animals that's different than the next one,
and
is the growth pattern.
EU law to make sure you don't have stuff in there for export of our pork.
Yeah,
right. And
so go ahead.
I was gonna say, as we've moved forward, like, we've gone down even in the last 5 years, the amount of medication and feed has gone down quite a bit. It's not what not what a lot of consumers want in their feed. They want to see that they were raised without antibiotics and other things. And so it's actually just lightened the load on making medicated feed. And so there's been a lot of other products that customers have been adding in. So there's been a lot of new ingredients that people try that aren't medications to see if they can get a similar result.
Crazy.
Interesting.
If you could go back in time, and this is kind of the last question we'll ask you, say to that person that was thinking about doing the internship, here are a couple of the building blocks to be able to make this work. What do you tell the 20-year-old version of yourself?
Just that you got to be interested while you're there. I mean, you're there for a short time. You got to actually focus on what you're doing and make the most out of it. I've seen a lot of people do internships and they found out that they didn't want to do it, but they still put in the effort while they were there, while they can learn that that's not what they want to do. But if you're there just passing time, you're not learning either way if it is or isn't what you want to be doing.
Very cool.
I got a question. So, can somebody that didn't grow up on a farm be in your same shoes today?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very easily. I've seen it at other mills where people just got a job out of school and they've worked there for a number of years and just climbed the ladder into, not my job specifically, but as management and on the operations side.
It's really interesting because there's a lot of feed mills across the GreenSeam region, but they're sometimes not, they're not public. You don't go for a tour in them. You don't, bring your kids to go shopping there. The feeds, but they're all here, and
you might not ever see it in your whole life of being here,
right?
Yeah,
or know what it is. Yeah.
Or right, and they don't do a lot of tours for biosecurity reasons. They don't want to bring any extra disease into feed mills. If someone did a tour but they were on a farm at home, came in, well, maybe they didn't clean their shoes or something, and that could potentially bring disease in, and so they keep them closed off to the public for that reason alone. Well, there's probably other reasons, but I'd say that's the main one, not to bring extra people in that don't need to be there.
This is another, Garrett, and this is another example of a cool job in the GreenSeam that you don't often think about.
Yeah, you don't ever think about it, where you go, oh, well, farming, well, who's the guy getting all this ready?
Yeah. And
what's going on the backside?
365 days a year, these pigs are being fed.
Yep.
And it's companies and individuals like you that are making that happen. So thank you.
Very cool.
You bet.
Well, we will talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks,
Brad.
See ya.